Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas
Man,
indeed.
little post-Christmas blues, not here.
Not here.
Not
Christmas
now.
is still
Festive as
going.
ever.
Absolutely. Guys, how was your Christmas, Dan?
I was great, man. If you're watching on philo.tv/DTH, we decided to wear the same exact outfits that we wore for our last episode before Christmas.
Right.
Because we wanted to stay that much in the Christmas spirit.
We couldn't have been more in the Christmas spirit last week, so we said, let's
right.
get
Yeah.
the
Let's
good vibes
keep it
going. That's
rolling.
exactly right.
It worked.
Brian, you had a good Christmas?
Yeah, man.
Thanks
We
for bringing it
wanted-
back.
Yeah, happy to be here. I wouldn't have missed this for the world.
No, of course not.
This is nice because typically by this week, it's like, what do we do? Like,
That's right.
how are we going to fill
We
this time?
got Christmas movies. Don't
We do
worry.
have Christmas. We've got this one, which is the last Christmas
Rescuing
Hallmark movies.
Christmas.
And then we got to go over to Hallmark movies now for two movies.
Ice Palace Romance. I'm really excited to be here present for that one.
Yep.
Very excited.
Yeah,
about
I
You've
gotta
been
say,
talking about it
yeah,
off air,
it was so weird
Yeah.
that you got
And I know.
sick
I know what you're
again
gonna say.
for the Lifetime movie. That was weird.
yes, it was
But
terrible
surely
about
you're not
that.
going to get sick again this week.
No. I feel
You're through
very
it.
confident that I will be here.
Mm-hmm. You've had a weird month. It's been a lot
weird.
of.
It's been a little up and down. That's
A
right.
lot
Yeah,
of up
yeah,
and
yeah.
down, but we're closing out the week with another Deck the Life from Uncorked, and I'm just glad that you'll be here for
I'll
that.
close
one.
it. I'll be here to close it. There's no doubt about
It's
it.
Silent Night, Fatal Night. You're not going to miss that.
No, just Silent Night, Fatal Night. Come on.
It's perfect.
Classic
Prequel to
Dan.
Silent
Perfect
Night,
way to
Lethal
end it.
Night. Yeah.
Perfect way to end that. It's been a wonderful season. And next week we'll be off for a couple of days because of New Year. And we'll be back next week. We're previewing the January movies,
Of course.
ranking the Christmas movies. Have a whole lot of fun stuff planned
Yes.
for the New Year.
Whole
So
fun lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
best way to check it out though is with Philo, philo.tv/DTH. And if you haven't checked out the Philo Deep Dive, another show that Dan and I host over on Philo, I think you'll like it. I don't know
ton
why
of
you
fun.
wouldn't.
Ton of fun.
We talk about fun, weird TV that's out there, and we've learned about a lot of stuff that we will avoid. And then a lot of stuff that we've actually added to
right.
our viewing
repertoire.
That's exactly right. Sometimes we gather around for lunch and
Watch a little reality TV.
That's
or
exactly
something.
right.
Yeah.
That's
Can't wait to start
exactly
doing
right.
that on the regular again.
It's gonna be nice.
it's gonna be
It's gonna be
awesome.
nice.
Schedule
It's
before
gonna be
we go.
awesome. Oh, that's
Exactly.
go. Non-holiday schedule? Are you kidding me right now? Don't tease me with a good time.
And I don't wanna tease it too much, but if you're a fan of Disney Channel original movies, stay tuned.
Stop right there.
What?
Say no more.
Stay
tuned.
To what?
Tuned.
What should they tune?
Right here.
Just
to
right.
this
Just
Stay
on
space.
this
tuned to
dial?
this
This
space.
space.
Save
Watch
this
this,
space.
watch
Watch
this
this space,
Watch this
everyone.
space.
Watch it.
Drop some?
I don't know.
What's
Miracle.
that I dropped right there? A hint?
Ooh, I see what you did there.
Okay.
Was that a
It's
hint?
terrible, but
Is
I
that
saw
the
you
first
did.
joke from a Hallmark movie ever used as a real callback? Wow. No, you don't think so?
Does
For
Brand
me-
know what that movie
No,
that
no.
came
I
from?
don't even know what you're talking about.
Wow.
Round and Round.
What was the joke?
The joke
I
was
kind of.
not that good in the movie.
In line
like-
at the donut shop, and he's trying to get her to invite the nosy old lady to the party.
to the party, and he's like, "Oh, look at
what
that hint
dropped
I just
there? A
dropped."
hint?
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
I
It's good
remember a lot
callback,
about
Brian.
that movie. Don't remember that though. It's time for Miracle in Bethlehem,
Woo! Yeah!
Pennsylvania.
Yikes.
Dayspring presents
Yes. A Dayspring
December
joint.
21st, 2023.
Oh, little
Town of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
It went a little something like this.
Not that Bethlehem.
Mary Ann wants to adopt a baby, has not been able to do so yet. She's been on the waiting list for 9 months. She is a hotshot lawyer attorney of the year by some magazine, but is one of the good ones that helps regular people get the money they deserve pro bono.
It's a beautiful day.
Her ex-husband is engaged to someone half her age and is written about on the tabloids. They get a divorce after struggling with infertility. One night, she's about to eat popcorn and watch a Hallmark movie, maybe? I don't know. When she spots her nativity, and she decides that she is going to toss one upstairs to the big guy and pray for a baby. We then meet Joe, who gets broken up with for playing too many video games and having no hustle. Am I right, Brian?
You got
no hustle.
Absolutely no hustle.
Right.
Brian would have broken up with him too.
Yeah.
And he used to be a rock star, like in U2, but
like pro bono.
you know, that ship has sailed. We find out that he and his band toured the country, but after his dad called and said that he had cancer, he gave all that up, and now he runs his dad's garage. But he doesn't have much of a spark. He's like, this is great, but I'm missing something. Mary Ann's prayer is answered. She gets a call, and there's a baby that needs her. So she hops in her car and heads to Bethlehem, PA, to pick up the baby. She gets there and a blizzard hits. Then the nurses have been calling her Natalie, so Mary Ann and Natalie hop in the car. She tries to make it home, but the storm is just too brutal. So she stops at the inn, but wouldn't you know it, there's no room at the inn for Mary and the baby. The hotels are also all booked. Joe's sister runs the inn, and he is there, so she recommends Joe's house. It's like a barn, but it'll do. He even has a dog named Donkey. The baby.
Whoa, you mean like the manger and the inn?
No, not.
Oh my gosh.
Stop.
Bethlehem,
Stop.
Pennsylvania. Is this the Wizard of Oz?
I don't need this from you. The baby is up most of the night, which means that Mary is up most of the night, which means that Joe is also up most of the night. The storm is going to keep Mary Ann there for a little bit longer than she thought. So she joins Joe at some of the community events that are still going on. First, the toy drive, run by his mom, struggling with, the fact that she just adopted a newborn.
His mom, Goldie, his sister, Frankie, and his grandma, Myrtle. I believe you do.
Dang, that's
oh
good.
my gosh. Is this like, whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Who's the Tin Man?
Didn't even catch that.
Boy, do I dislike you. Struggling with the fact that she just adopted a newborn, the community actually jumps in to help
You
her.
guys didn't catch that.
Joe and Mary Ann bond over their mutual faith and their love of music. Then they spend the evening by the fire, decorating his tree and opening up to one another. He talks about losing his dad, and she opens up about her divorce. Joe lets Mary Ann sleep and dances with the baby so that the baby goes back to sleep. And what I would like to nominate as the hunkiest scene of the season. Old men start assuming they're a couple, and they just kind of start rolling with it. He shows her the barn that his dad decked out with Christmas every year. They've kind of kept it decorated for Christmas since his passing, but this is going to be the last year for the barn because of new property tax that goes into effect next year. They can no longer afford to keep it. They get word that the roads open back up, so Mary and baby load up in the car to head out. She goes to start it, and no dies. The part that is needed won't arrive until after Christmas. He's like, I could drive you. She's like, I could taxi. He's like, you should stay. She's like, I should stay. As lawyers do, she starts researching that new property tax law. They dress up real nice for Christmas dinner, but before they leave, they slow dance real good to some Norah Jones, and they're basically on the verge of kissing for about a minute straight. Baby cries and ruins the vibe. We've all been there. At the dinner, she tells Joe. She tells Joe.
Get over here.
She tells
Joe.
She tells Joe and Mom the news that she thinks that the barn would qualify as a historic structure, which would help lower the tax burden to be even lower than it currently is. Wow. Man, pro bono again strikes, and I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
We don't have anywhere to go with this. It's just to sing Bono.
That's it.
We sound like some real pro bonos.
Yeah, we are. We sure are.
That's where we were supposed to go with it, right there. That's why we're here.
That's exactly right.
About
Everyone.
as obvious as the movie.
Yeah. Everyone is over the moon thrilled. They spend the night playing games and laughing. They go home and they're about to kiss, but his ex from the beginning of the movie shows up. She's like, WTF? Well, you cleaned up your house. You cleaned up your act. And he's like, oh, man, it's nothing. She's basically a stranger. It's nothing to see here, but we don't have anything going on. Get out of here. She leaves. Mary was listening to the whole conversation. She's relatively chill about basically being called a stranger to the guy that she was about to kiss, but she is like, I think it's time for me to catch a cab. The morning comes, they hug, they say their goodbyes. She goes into the cab and the cab drives off. The cab stops for gas and she gets a call from her mom and she's like, you know what? I don't want to avoid you anymore. I want to spend Christmas with you, and I want you to meet me in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Come on, Mom. And Mom's like, yes, yes. So she goes to the church in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. She sits next to Joe. He's like, I'm happy you're back. She's like, there's something here between us that I would like to explore. Back at his family's house, her mom shows up. She explains why she's been so distant since her divorce, and she introduces her to Natalie and to Joe. The mom is super supportive. They all go to the Christmas barn. Joe sings a short little ditty about Jack and Diane, and they take a family photo together. Joe and Mary finally get that kiss in, and that, my friends, was Miracle in Bethlehem, PA. We did do it, everybody. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll break this movie down with 4 segments here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about Miracle in Bethlehem, Pa. It's time to break this movie down with 4 segments. We're going to start with the hot take.
Maybe it could have been Forgive Me, PA, like Forgive Me, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Ooh.
Like, what did he do? What did he do to that state?
Pennsylvania?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything I did.
You know what it is. You know what I did. And I am apologizing.
That's right.
Brian, let's start with you. What did you think about this movie?
Yeah. Boy, this was good stuff. Ben Ayers has never been better. I feel like this was the perfect role for him. I don't think anybody could have done it better. I love them getting closer throughout. I was so invested in the two of them ending up together. I dreaded the conflict that I knew was coming. It got weird. They made it weird. Then they brought it back, and everything was fine. Everything got back to normal. They ended the Christmas season perfectly with this movie. Man, I don't want to say like I couldn't have liked it more because there are other movies that I liked a bit more than this one, but I felt like the perfect ending to the Christmas season. Happy that she had a kid before her ex did, so she wins the kid race.
Yeah, that was what it was about.
Yeah, and more guitar for Ben would have been great. Other than that, just spot on. Great flick.
You nailed that, Bri. Here's the thing. You can watch this movie and you can, figure out pretty quickly what they're doing here with the Mary Joseph. Even some ones that I missed that Dan pointed out.
Yeah, some really
somebody last name Shepherd in there.
And you can choose to be like, that's so cheesy. This is so forced. It's whatever. That, yeah. I chose to lean into it. And what happens when you lean into it is you realize this is such a charming movie. Yeah. I loved it. I thought that it was so sweet. And I agree. This is possibly my favorite Ben Ayers performance. I thought he just crushed it in this movie. The two leads are so good together. Yeah. This movie worked for me in a way that I was not expecting. Same. And I think when I look back at the movies that I didn't anticipate working for me over this season, this is pretty high on that list. It was more Thursday. Why not? Let's get us to 40. And it delivered. It delivered for me. I teared up a couple times. I truly, truly love this movie. Dano?
This movie is insufferable.
Oh, man. It's just the worst.
This movie is so annoying. I think A couple of things. First of all, when you find out it's a movie that's obvious about its similarities, just like the Candace Cameron Bure Wizard of Oz movie, like very similar in that regard. The thing that bothers me about this movie is all of these people that all go to church and live in Bethlehem see this, and they all have to act as though they don't get the similarities. And so they're all supposedly in on it. I couldn't disagree more about Ben Ayers. Listen, I love that guy. In Cranberry Christmas, he has one of the best scenes Hallmark's ever put to film with Nikki DeLoach. The guy can act. In this movie, they make him a goofus for one scene where he gets to play video games and throw juice boxes around. And then after that, it's just a complete and utter 180. As soon as the road's clear and she doesn't leave, it veers quickly into horror movie territory. There is no world where a mom with a newborn child doesn't want to get home to nest as quickly as humanly possible, and they exhaust every reason why she cannot do that. It's annoying from start to finish. For reasons that I still didn't mention yet, I hated this movie. Eye roll after eye roll, dumb symbolism the whole time, over the top, and you have really good people in this. Terrell Rothery shows up for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Man, what a tough way to end the season. This was a mess. This was, for so many movies this year, I think this is Hallmark's best crop of movies. Super disappointing and just insufferable. I didn't like this movie at all.
After hearing that you're the only one that thinks that, do you realize you're wrong?
I have to be honest. I watched this movie and was trying my best at home. We all watched this on our own, and I was trying my best, and I went, yeah, there's just no way to redeem that sucker. I was shocked. The Ayers performance alone, I feel like they don't know what to do with him in this movie. They have a great character actor, and they don't know what to do with him in this movie.
That's amazing.
To have a guy that is literally video games and juice boxes that can wrap a baby wrap perfectly 2 scenes later is... I couldn't do that right now.
He's an uncle, you know?
I couldn't do that right now. Wrap a baby wrap around me right this second.
We watched a YouTube video.
And so...
That's how I learned. You watched a YouTube video.
Yes, because you're a good father.
Yeah, but you figure it out.
Yeah.
His character was jarringly bad. The motivations of this woman, I thought, was all over the map. We'll get to that later. I can't believe you guys loved it. Man. Can't believe you loved it.
I can believe you hated it. Yeah. It's time for all the feels before we talk about what this movie gave us those feels. Bry Guy.
Yeah, man. The one-on-one chat they had while decorating the tree worked better than it should have for me. Normally, I'd start rolling my eyes when those scenes go on for more than 30 seconds, and they're just talking about what led them to be the way they are now. And with theirs, this one, I couldn't get enough of it. I thought it was right on, and they even ended it it wasn't a weird ending where they sort of just fade to black or they both just leave the room. He ends it with the best way to end it, which is he called himself a Sharesy Pants. And that was a joke that led him out of this weird, deep conversation. He just cracked a little joke. I'm like, he's so good in this. He was so good. And that whole thing worked so good for me.
I have a few all the feels. One, the wall that she painted in baby's room is dope. 2,
sure.
The Christmas barn is dope. 3, Christmas is a time to say I love you is a banger and doesn't get enough love. And so I was so happy to see the song get utilized in this movie, not once, but twice. Yeah. Lastly, I do think that Natalie is born the same day that my firstborn was born, December 20th. And, the scene where she is up all night, looking at the snow, holding the baby, trying to get the baby to go back to sleep. That was life for me early on, as it is for all parents. But it happening at Christmas time, I remember having the Hallmark Christmas movies on in the middle of the night, holding Grizz, trying to get him to fall asleep. And seeing that in this movie brought back all of those sweet memories. And Dano?
I would just, instead of getting into more specific feelings, I would just use this as an opportunity to say, if you are someone that really wants a child, there are thousands of children that need a home that you don't have to pay money to wait around. In DSS, there are kids, there are orphans around the country that if it's really about having a child and you want a kid, and that's what you want to be a mom or a dad, you can do that really, really quickly. And you can make a kid's life change for forever. And you can do that. And that's something that we desperately need more people to do. So I would challenge you to think about that and do that.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with the Wait What's and the What the Hallmarks here on
Deck the Hallmark.
PA.
DM.
Welcome back, everybody, to the TAs,
Yep.
to the PIs.
PMs.
Doesn't
Private
matter.
investigators?
The PIs?
Private
You're welcome.
investigators,
Wow.
the trademarkers,
Wow.
the teachers' assistants.
Notary Republics?
No, get out of here.
Notary
If you're a
Republics?
notary, get out of here.
Get
You know
on.
what you
Get
did.
out. Get.
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 It's time for the
peace.
Wait What. So we talk about 1 and 2 minutes. Go Wait What. I'll start with you, Brian. Brian?
I mean, if you're getting sprayed in the face with water, you just go ahead and put your phone down. You don't have
You
to.
put your-
you don't have to hold it to your
Yeah,
ear
yeah, yeah.
anymore.
Or you move your face.
Or you move your face away from the water.
You
Yeah,
keep
either.
getting hit in the face.
Ooh.
It's at some point it is on you.
Yeah.
At some point it is
Yeah,
on you.
you just get
to
on out of the
move.
way, yeah.
You keep trying to talk there. You are liable for what happens.
Yeah. One time funny.
Also, just
twice.
real quick, turn the water off.
Yeah,
knob.
just knock
that's
that right
That's
off.
real quick.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's hard to do that with the phone.
That's right.
Up
Yeah, there's
here.
a lot happening there that could have gone better or differently.
There's another part. You know how bros, they just bring up those memorabilia boxes when they're thinking you're looking for inspiration around the
for sure.
garage.
Dude,
Just-
Rose are the best that way,
Think
aren't
you
they?
just out of nowhere, like, bro, I was just thinking, you know how you need a little inspiration. Look
I
what
start every day by bringing my special box over to Dan's house to look
right.
through
That's right.
all of our good memories.
We do.
He tells us to go away most days, but
Some days we
sometimes
sit, we
he
drink some
needs-
coffee, and
that's
we
exactly
look through
right.
the box.
Yeah.
Have our juice boxes and
right.
call it a day.
Those are the best days.
Juice box.
And when she has the baby in the bedroom, she has the baby at one point next to a window that's surely a drafty window, old house.
Yeah.
But don't worry, there's a radiator right under
That's
the
right.
window. The baby,
Perfect.
so the heat will so the cold air will just pour all over the baby. Don't worry, the heat kicks on and just right all over the baby, just heat. Just
perfect.
right on the baby. Just a worse spot in the room.
There's nothing she can do. It's not like she can get home. Oh, just kidding. She can 100% get home whenever she wants to.
She could just leave.
Yes.
Absolutely. And this was so funny to me. I don't know if anybody else picked up on this. Grandma was so excited about saving the barn. When she found out they could save the barn, she said, I'm going to go tell everybody. So she leaves the conversation with Ben and I forget her name. The lady. I'm messing up the name. She leaves the conversation. She goes to tell what?
No, don't help him. Don't help him. Don't help him.
Mary?
Mary. Yeah, Mary.
The leads' names
Yeah.
are Mary and Joseph. You do know that, right?
Did you know that?
Yeah, bro.
Okay, all right. He was just Joe and Joey to me. That's all I got. I did not even piece that together. Yeah, I know, man. That was, but it doesn't
you like the
change.
movie? You didn't watch
it doesn't
it.
change how much I like the movie. Good for them.
I did know it as
I
happened.
didn't pick but I
deserves you.
expected all of that stuff. Like I expected all the little connections. Like so, I wasn't looking for little things. Like that's
That's
ridiculous.
not little. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
character's name.
But it wasn't like cheesy
Mary and
to me,
Joseph
you know?
are a pretty big part of this
Sure.
story. How
Okay.
to be-
It just didn't click that. Oh, of course the names are Mary and Joseph. I don't know.
I'm surprised I didn't order like pizza from Little Drummer Boy's Pizza. Like I'm literally
They
like,
did cut a
it was
pizza
like
star out of a pizza
for as
box.
much crap
It
as
might
we
have
gave
been-
Warren Christie and Candace Cameron Bure about that movie. This movie was more overt than that one.
Yeah, but I found these characters to be likable.
better.
I found
Yeah.
all of the characters in that movie to be insufferable. So.
Well, it still is the same problem though.
yeah, but the problem is it's only a problem if I don't like the characters.
It's a big problem.
I
if you
disagree
don't.
with that. I mean, you can have good characters and still have a bad idea around them.
It works.
Every
so
idea is a
good.
good idea when you have good characters.
It's true. Solves all the problems. So anyway, the grandmother is so pumped about this idea. She's like, I'm going to go tell everybody. And as she walks away, like normally what I'd expect to happen is her volume, her sound to like fade down. But it doesn't. So you hear her in the background. Oh, I can't believe and there's all this commotion going on while Mary and Joseph are kind of like rounding up, finally finishing the scene. But you just hear all the commotion in the background of, I can't believe all this, the barn, blah, 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 blah. There's just a weird sound thing there that just caught me really funny, that you hear everything going on in that room.
That's real funny.
Yeah, sure did.
Any more?
That's it.
I want to give a quick shout out to once I did this last movie with the person who's in charge of picking out the music, because when they're sitting on the couch and they're starting to realize that they have feelings for each other and it's awkward, I wouldn't have known as the viewer that it was awkward unless there was boom, 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 music in the background. I wouldn't have been able to pick it up. I couldn't pick up that awkward tension, and so I'm thankful for the music that's boom, boom, like Oompa Loompa's about to come out. This is a classic Christmas Eve, everyone keeps their eyes open prayer that is just, I don't know what's worse. Like, everyone keeping their eyes open? Because then you're just staring at each other like, God, I'm thankful for.
Did you ever have that one youth pastor that was like, we're all going to keep our eyes open during prayer?
No.
Dude. I never had him as my youth pastor, but there would be, you would always hear one guy preach, be like, we're all going to keep our eyes open. Like, come on, bro.
We can do that. We're just having a conversation.
That's right. We're having a conversation.
That's all prayer
with
is,
Daddy
just a
God. That's
conversation.
right.
We don't have to close our eyes. Closing your eyes is definitely less for God,
optional,
and more for the room.
That's
like
right.
I think
It's
it
more
just
about awkward.
it's a better vibe if we all just decide
The
we're
reason-
all going to close our
there's
eyes.
The reason we close our eyes has nothing to do with Jesus.
That's exactly right. Last but not least, if I'm a cab driver and I get called to, we find out that the drive to Bethlehem, PA, and where she lives is 8 hours. If I am
4 hours.
It's 8 hours.
8 hours round trip.
4 hours.
Okay.
That's it.
My point is still going to be valid.
Sure, let's
If
hear it.
I'm a
With
cab
a baby,
driver
yes.
and I show up and I see
You block out your day for this.
I see baby, I'm driving by as if I don't see them. I can't. This is not my baby. I've done my time.
That's right.
I've had a kid. I can't
No
for
way.
4 hours
Yeah.
with newborn. Man,
Yeah.
shoot.
No, there's not enough
That's
money.
tough. It's
Not
a hard
enough money in
pass.
the world.
Hard pass. Dano?
This Frankie, Ayers' sister, Joseph's sister, drops her kid off for him to watch, and he doesn't know he's supposed to watch. Remember, he's got the video games and the headset and the whole deal. And on the way out the door, she throws in, I'd prefer if he doesn't eat pizza. Okay. All right. You're dropping him off with his uncle, who probably only does eat pizza. That's too high a bar. When you let your kids stay with a babysitter or an uncle or aunt,
Man, anything goes.
Literally anything goes. Unless they're allergic to it, they can eat it.
That's the price you pay for
That's
some peace and
exactly-
quiet.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
You can't possibly leave a list like, and don't do anything fun with the fun people.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that. Like, it's not like you're hiring someone to like teach him his schoolwork. Like, it's crazy Uncle Joe over there. Speaking of Uncle Joe, they load this gun and then they never pulled the trigger, and I can't believe it. They're at Christmas dinner, and then all of a sudden, Joe is asked to come carve the turkey. And the dude, Frankie's husband, can't believe it.
Yeah.
He gets up, he's like, I've never carved a turkey before. I'm so excited for this scene of Benjamin Ayers comedically trying to figure out, do I cut it down the middle? Do I figure it out? Him having no clue. And then they just don't show it. They don't show anything.
That's true.
They just kind of go, oh, that was funny, wasn't it? He doesn't know how to do it, and he's got to. And then they don't ever go back to it at all. The dog donkey is adorable. And then he has been put away in a kennel somewhere for long stretches of this movie. The thing about having child and dog is they both are always around. You don't get to choose for your dog to disappear for literally twice, 2 30-minute stretches in this movie. The second of which, they're home all night and the dog isn't there. You can't do that.
When he puts the headphones on the dog,
Yeah.
still
Good
love
stuff,
that.
And then the next night he sleeps, the dog's not there.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's not
The
exactly.
headphones didn't work.
Yeah.
Dogs had enough.
I
You're
said this,
back.
I said this in my hot take, but I need to reiterate this. If you have a newborn coming home, you are very anxious to get into that routine of what that's going to look like, where they're going to sleep, what they're going to eat, what brand of diapers you're going to use, and wipes, and having all that stuff at home at your disposal. I don't care if she thinks Benjamin Ayers is the man of her dreams. She is trying to get home as quickly as possible.
I think, Dan, the reason why that didn't bother me, because I agree, I'm like with baby, they're going to bed at the same time every night.
She is
routine
literally
is very important.
using store-bought diapers that people are buying for, a pacifier somebody bought for. You're going to get out of there as quickly as you possibly can.
I think it was just like she didn't have a community back home. So when she found this community, she's like, this is actually kind of nice. Yeah. Like, I think
staying in somebody's guest room.
Yeah, I think that's why I was able to go, because she literally doesn't have anything.
She's been
back
prepping
home.
For 9 months.
Sure.
You see her house. It's perfect.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
this.
I'm just once you have experienced
people,
community, that's hard to say goodbye to.
She would be, in my opinion, her going back and going, hey, I want to still be a part of this community. That would make sense. You're trying to get back home as quick as you possibly can. The fact that she didn't get home and the car didn't start, and then from there it's like, well, you have to stay, felt super horror movie to me. Like, couldn't get past it and couldn't get over it. Yeah. She'd have rented a car. That she has so much money, she'd rented a car. And then we find out her mom is 90 minutes away. Her mom's an hour and a half away, and she's still not even gone there. Forget the 4-hour drive. Just rent a car and go to your mom's house and do that until your car's fixed, and then come back and you'll be fine. I couldn't get over that. Lastly, this is the most awkward ending kiss to a movie we've ever seen. They are about to take a group photo in a barn.
Yeah.
She has a baby she's holding, and they know they have to end this movie with a kiss. It's weird. He says sealed with a kiss afterwards. Also super weird. The kiss at the end of this movie was undeserving of the chemistry that these two people did in fact have. It was a super weird, super awkward kiss when they're trying to take a group picture in front of people that have literally never seen them kiss. And it was like the perfect cherry on the weird movie sundae that this was. It was bad.
It's time for What the Hallmark Story. Wonder what could have been, maybe because Brian, what are you still wondering about?
Yeah, I was wondering about just leaving the hospital with a baby during a blizzard. Like, is that allowed?
Yeah, I can't believe they let her walk out the door.
Are you able?
Yeah.
I feel like at a certain point, there's like, listen, this is just not safe. We know we can't like physically hold you here, but just come on. Like, don't go anywhere. Like, so I feel like there would be a little more hesitation around the hospital's part to keep them from the roads. But I don't know how that works, really.
Obviously this cab driver is better than me, and we did talk about that. But this guy has was promised a 4-hour fare.
They had to pay him.
He had to pay him out. You think?
I think they had to.
So you booked him for the day.
That's a tough time. That's tough. You
8
get
hours,
there.
you gotta drive back, right?
Yeah. So at the very, we don't know how far she went, but she went obviously far enough to need gas again. So
that's got to be $500 plus.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. That's tough. Dano?
The timeline of Ayers and his previous girlfriend, that relationship, I have questions about, because she says that when the first time she met him, he was playing guitar and loving it, and now he's a mess. And we also know that they've only been together for 6 weeks, but he hasn't played guitar in 5 years.
I think she said, when I first saw you, we didn't know each other yet. So they didn't know each other back then.
What my question is, I'm tracking.
Sure.
She saw him 5 years ago, and then they just recently
what happened there?
Dated for 6 weeks. Yep. Like, I just want to know the history there. And it would seem as though he was the same guy at the beginning of the 6 weeks than he was at the end of it, because he's almost 5 full years into not playing guitar. Mm-hmm. So I had a few questions there.
I wonder if they fought at all.
We did it.
Did it get rough?
Well, that's actually a good question. That's a good question.
A lot of drama in this one.
I know it happens in the Bible, but this is nothing like that.
Yeah.
No parallels. Are there any fights only one person could tell us? It's Vic Webster. It's time for a fighting chance with Vic Webster.
Fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Was there fighting in the movie? Did someone get hurt? It's a fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Vic Webster.
The action in this movie was incredible. The car chase, the karate scene, the helicopter, the guy jumping out of the helicopter. This one was amazing. Benjamin Ayers paid me to say that.
A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Vic Webster.
I love that.
Wow.
I love that.
People think he recorded those all ahead of time, but this is proof that he didn't.
These
are all in real time. He's all constantly on the line.
He's watching the movies with us.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. He's above and beyond all season long. We got 2 more. We're heading over to the app now, Hallmark Movies Now, where they drop 2 movies over the holiday season. And we got to get to those, of course, to round out our entire season. So join us tomorrow, day after that, for those. Until then, maybe the first wish you a Merry Christmas!
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. What? For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.